What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Yep, Glenn Speed Shop. You are here. You're either here for the first time or you're returning, and we appreciate that. We're heading out to the Bronco because I picked something up yesterday. Last night, actually, I guess. What could it be? What could it be? Oh, yeah. It's another generator. And you go, Glenn, you've got 15 of them. Why do you want another one? Well, here's the deal. I constantly watch Marketplace, Craigslist, all that stuff for either a bargain or for something I've never had or seen before. Or in this case, my brother-in-law wants an EU2000 generator. Today is the 20th of December 2024, and Christmas is just around the corner. Do you see where I'm going with this? So I've been hunting for a bargain for him for some time. He wants to take it camping. I said, hey, an EU1000 would be a nice machine for you. He goes, yeah, but if I'm going to get one, he's only going to have one. It just will be big enough to run his fridge at the house or something like that. And I went, oh, yeah, that makes sense. We started off with a 1000 and added a 2000 to our fleet way back in the day, 15, 20 years ago or something like that, when these things kind of first came out, when they were like buying gold bars, it seemed like. Anyway, so I wake up in the morning and I think Marketplace automatically turns on my phone, and I flip through things. Anyway, guy had this one. It's been in storage. Yeah, it doesn't run. It's gonna probably need carb gone through and stuff like that. He said he never tried to get it running. Yesterday he said he did put gas in it and tried to start it, which means whatever was in the tank is down the carburetor. So that wouldn't be the way I would have done it, but that is the way it has been done. It's totally dirty, gross. I'm going to get dirty just carrying it. So the first thing we're going to do is set it out and wash the exterior of it so it's not so gross. And then we'll start going through this thing and make it work, because it's going to be a Christmas gift, sounds like, for my brother-in-law. And I want it to be right. And I've only got, today's 20th, so I've only got 4 days to get this thing done and ready to roll. So let's get it cleaned up a little bit. Let's get it in the shop. Let's assess what we have here. I did pull the fuel cap. I imagine it had super stinky fuel in it, and then he put fresh fuel on top of that. So before we do anything, we're going to dump out what's in it. We're going to open up the fuel bowl on the carburetor with the drain screw and get out of the carburetor what's in it. We're going to throw some fresh in it and see if it does anything. We're pretty sure we're going to end up with the carburetor off and apart, get it cleaned up, get this thing totally cleaned up and detailed and presentable, and we'll take off these nasty decals. There's not much left of these either. If I really feel generous, we might put some new decals on it. Let's just see how this thing comes out, if it runs beautifully, and I expect that it will. But this is how this machine is starting its life with us. All right, let's get it out of here. Let's see, what cleaner should we use to clean that generator with? Any guesses? Come on. All right, so I use the refillers and put them in this sprayer because, well, it's way easier to pump this up and spray it on than it is to pump that trigger. Oh yeah, there's another one. You might say I like the cleaner. I used to spray the inside of the generators down too, and I've quit doing that. But it's not going to kill it to spray the outside. I wouldn't spray it directly at the electronics and such, but yeah, it's going to do fine. Let's let it kind of soak in a little bit. I've run these in the rain many times. Remember, I have a mobile DJ business, and most of my events are outside. And just because the weather goes bad doesn't mean my customer doesn't want music and MC services that they are paying me for, so they get used outside. All right, let's let that kind of dry for a minute. We're gonna find a brush. Maybe I left one out here for myself. Yeah, we don't want wire brushes. I'll find a brush, we'll scrub her down. All right, this is kind of gonna be a two-handed operation, but you get the idea of what we're trying to accomplish here. Then I'm gonna take the garden hose and all my generators, I keep them in the Honda covers. I make those silver generator covers so they don't get all scratched up and beat up traveling around. So. Okay, I'm going to scrub on this some more, and then I'll bring you back when she's clean. Stuff works good. Well, gang, got it kind of towel dried a little bit, rinsed off, and you know, it's not great, but I've seen worse, you know what I mean? I have bought, sold many of these. I have bought and kept many of these. Some I bought new, some I bought in this condition, not running, and brought them back. And once they're in good condition, and I've tested them, you know, by literally running them for, you know, an entire tank of fuel all day long, that kind of thing, and I'm happy with its function, I might reservice it. That is, I dump fuel out of these. If you know, if you're strong enough, you can lift these and turn these upside down. That way you get all the water out, any dirt, sediment, or whatever out of it. We're going to do that with this one, and we might do it twice, you know what I mean? Put a little bit of fuel back in it, let it run, and then dump it out again. Also, if the oil is pretty dirty, you know, we'll change the oil, and then we'll run it for a little while, and then we'll change it again. I want them as good as I can get them. Way I run these generators, I don't typically get air filters dirty, and I have never, and I've had, maybe my first generator is now 20 years old, 19 years old anyway, and I've never changed a spark plug. People say, oh, it's probably a bad spark plug. I doubt it. Has it happened? Yeah. Does it happen frequently? No. It does not. Okay, let's see what we got here. First of all, the choke was on, the fuel was on. Many attempts have been made to start this machine. Regardless that the ad said I've not tried to start it. Been in storage many years. Yeah, I didn't think that was the case, and I'm sure it was not the case. I'm sure it had stinky fuel in it, maybe not a lot, but it had stinky fuel in it, and they threw fuel in on top of it thinking it was going to run. Okay, so I'm looking inside. It's actually pretty clean. I did not open this. I just made sure it had compression and such. So we want to check the oil. Make sure there's plenty in there. Let me get a little rag. It will probably pop that airbox cover off. Make sure what we got in there. This is the drain hose for the carburetor, so we're going to enact that. Yeah. We hope to see fairly clean oil and plenty of it. And it's not horrible. It's average, I guess. It's full right to the end thread. That's where it's supposed to be. It's good enough to fire it up. And we'll change it. We'll probably, like I just said, we'll probably run it and then change it again. I keep the oil very clean in my machines. If you've seen in my other videos, you know I service all of my generators the week of Thanksgiving. I have already done that. I run nothing but non-ethanol fuel in them, and I mean, except for maybe like an extreme, like shit hits a fan kind of scenario where you're going to put whatever fuel you can get in them. And that one time on my EU3000is. We were on the road traveling, and we were running the generator every day, so we were fueling it up at every fuel stop with the pickup, and we had to put regular gas in it, and we knew that. And that's okay. If you're going to run them every day, nothing wrong with regular fuel. But the thing is, with most generators, they don't run every day. They sit. You don't think they're going to sit for a long time, and then the next thing you know, they're a year, 2, 3 years they've been sitting. Carburetors are jacked. Okay. Looks good. Looks clean. Filters are a little oily, and they should be. We'll clean these out in the parts cleaner. Re-oil them. Reinstall them. No surprises here. I'm very confident it's going to be a fine machine, possibly even at the end of the day. So we've checked air filter. We want to drain that fuel for the minute. Let's see what we got. Hang on. All right, we got a cup underneath there. It's always if you don't already have a dedicated white cup, it's a good idea to do that. If you use white, you can see water. You can see dirt and stuff that comes out, so use a white cup. I had to kind of clean this one up a little bit. I use it for everything. We have flowage. We're going to let that all drain out. Okay, remember these have a fuel pump in them, so it's not going to gravity feed anything more than what the fuel pump has put in there. So what came out looks okay. And now it's going to take 10 or 12 cranks, pulls of the rope, to get fuel back in there again, enough to start. I've had these a long time. People put ads up, starts first pull every time. Well, no, it can't, because in a month the fuel's going to disappear out of the fuel bowl, and it's going to take 12 pulls, up to 12 pulls, usually right at 12, if that carburetor's completely empty, to have enough fuel pumped into the carburetor to make it start. That's the way it is. I have sold some used machines that I have fixed, and I get a call back. Said, man, I pulled on this thing 5-6 times, it doesn't start. This thing always starts, 1 or 2 pulls. I go, well, if it's been sitting more than about a month or month and a half or something, that's reality. So don't concern yourself till you've pulled it 12 to 14 times. So let's pull it 12 to 14 times. Hey, bada swing, bada chokage on, fuel and ignition on, vent on, and this whatever fuel is in there, but again, I'm sure he threw fresh in on top of whatever, and it looked good coming out. So, are you ready? This might be slippery. I got this plastic down. Might be a bad idea. Putting you on hold. And just like that, it's gone. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This makes me so happy. I guess this turned into a clean and detail and service. I'm pretty happy about this, actually. Pretty happy about that. Let me put the airbox back in for now, just so it's not that noisy sound. Wow. Oh, look at that. This filter coming apart. Okay. Garbage. I'll have to order that. This one is fine. Gotta go that way. I'll have to order that one up. Kind of like a very porous pre-filter. Again, we'll get this thing kind of cleaned up inside as well. Where'd that screwdriver go? Here it is. It just started. Okay, so the guy didn't know what he had, evidently, that, again, these things have fuel pump in them. And you got to pull them up to 12 times to get fuel in them. He probably pulled it 5 times, and he was sure it wasn't any good, not going to run. And you know what? It didn't yet. It does now. First pull. Chokeage? Yeah, it's still full. We're going to choke it. It's a Honda. Golly, these things are fantastic, aren't they? I'm so happy. All right. We're going to proceed with the service on this. We'll warm it up a little bit. We're going to get the oil out of it. We're going to get the gas out of it. I have fresh non-ethanol here at the barn. We'll put some 1030 synthetic blend oil in it. And we'll run it today a lot. Get it kind of cleaned up on the inside, which is not bad. Pretty happy about this. Did I tell you I paid $300 for this? And I can't post this video before Christmas because my brother-in-law will watch it. So he's seeing it. He's a lucky guy. I had to work hard for all of mine, like buy them and fix them. And this one, well, of course I'd have done the work for him anyway, but this one just runs. And it runs well. Okay, I'm going to be pretty happy here for the next hour or so, and I'll bring you back. All right, it's time for fluids change. So if y'all do service on any kind of generator like this, these little inverter generators, and you don't have one of these things can't be more than $5 or something. On Amazon, eBay, you can see the color of mine, how long I've had it, how much I've used it. It makes this draining and filling of oil amazingly easy, and it keeps your stuff cleaner. Okay, so you just thread this in, there we go. And here I have it on my Workmate. You can stick it on your toolbox or your bench or your sawhorses or whatever. I'm going to back this up just a tickle, and then dump it. Yeah, this is got some color to it. You can just see water dripping off from my washing. We are definitely going to run this today and change the oil again today, because I don't want any color in that oil. This thing's mechanically is in great shape. It's going to run forever because we're going to take care of it. Okay? All right. That's what I say. All right, let's clean this up, put some oil in it. Well, stay tuned. We're first going to pull this off because we got to now dump the gas out. Now's a good time while there's no oil in it. I'll go set up there with the gas can. If you need to put a note on this thing not to start it, now would be a good time. That would suck, wouldn't it? Start it up with no oil in it. But we're going to dump this out. Dump all the fuel out. Remember what dumping helps you do, right? It keeps all the dirt and debris that might otherwise build up at the bottom of the tank, gets it out of there, right? If there's any water in that tank, it's heavier than gas, it's going to be at the bottom, right? We don't want that. We want it out of there. Okay. We're going to have a little bit of oil in this gas. We'll dump it in something though and burn it. Maybe. Okay. Now, hang on just a second. I don't drink coffee, but I use a few coffee filters. Okay. So we're going to try and dump that gas through that coffee filter. This isn't the best gas can in the world because it's not level. Okay. These generators aren't the lightest thing when you've got to pick them up and dump the water or gas out of them, but it's worth it. Here we go. Don't see no dirt. Looking good. Right, that's a good sign. Actually, upon closer inspection, can you see that? That is dirt. It's actually quite a little bit of it. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a little more fuel in that, shake it around, and drain it again. Okay, I got a new coffee filter. I'm gonna pour a little bit more gas in it. I've removed the strainer that goes into this filler hole here. Because it might restrict that dirt from getting back out of it. So this is removed. Okay. Here we go again. Yeah. The EU2000s are so much lighter than these. They're like 20 pounds and these are like 47 pounds or something. But they're so awkward. All right, we're gonna let that drain again and look. Excuse the mess. This is my little pourer thing. Dollar Tree plastic measuring cup that I use for putting oil in my generators. I've taken the time to find out the ounces of all the generators that I own, And you can see right there the EU2000 takes 14 ounces, and I put a little arrow right there. This is where I fill the oil to. So no matter what generator I'm servicing, I use this to fill my oil. So let's put some oil in there and get ready to refill it. Sorry, keep getting interrupted. All right, 14 ounces. It's just regular oil. Because we're going to run it today and dump this out too. And I'm going to flush that fuel tank one more time before I put this oil in. I just looked at the coffee filter. It needs to be done again. So let's do it again. Okay, then we'll put the fluids back in. Here we go. Well guys, this is the 6th time I've dumped this tank, and you can see I'm still getting dirt, like a lot of dirt. So I'm far from done with this. I'm going to continue this till we get no dirt. Wish me luck. Oh man, boys and girls, that was like 8 times I had to dump that tank. But that just proves my point. You've got to do it that way. Get your buddy if you need help carrying that heavy son of a gun. But it's really, really worth it. And now you've seen the proof why it's worth it. So we've got our pre-measured oil. My hair's unruly today. So just tip it back like taking a pill. No fuss, no mess. A precise amount. Precise amount. Okay. And I keep this in a Ziploc bag so it never gets dirty. You don't have to wipe it out. It's clean, fresh, ready to go every time. Let me go get some gas. I mark all my smaller cans non-E for non-ethanol. I always keep it here so that I never am tempted to put regular ethanol fuel in my power equipment. These things hold 1 gallon or 1.1, something like that. And we just will fill her up because she's going back to work today. We might just have her doing small stuff, but it's going to work. Want to be darn sure it's 100% reliable. It'll give my brother-in-law no issues its entire life. We've got that junk out of the tank, which means we've cleaned that fuel system. We're going to put this fuel in there. We're going to pull it over, and we're going to also drain the float bowl out again because there might be something in the lines and stuff yet. Okay, we don't want that in the carburetor to get sucked up. So before we start it, we're going to drain that float bowl. That's reasonable height right at the moment. Okay. I don't think it's full, but it's close. Close enough for now. Okay, let's take the spout off. It's right there to the edge where it's supposed to be. All right, once again, let's drain that bowl. 100% clean. Where is my cup? There it is. I'm not using this gas anyway. If I do, I gotta restrain it. Make sure got it all. It was clean and looks good. Let's pull the engine a few times and do that again. Okay. You have to turn this on, which means it could start. I won't choke it so that it hopefully doesn't start. We'll give it, 8 pulls. Oh, didn't expect that. I just drained the fuel out of it. It's a Honda. It'll run without gas. Holy smokes. Really? I drained the gas out of the... You saw me do it. These things are amazing. You saw me do it. Doesn't have no gas in it. A second draining. Just to make me feel good about everything's 100% spotless. Can't find the slot. Come on. There we go. Now then, we're not quite done. Looked good. Okay, one more thing. One more thing. If you watch my videos, you know I'm a seafoam guy. I love seafoam, and I have a can of Behrman here. I have some seafoam if I'd go wander around a little bit. I'm sure I got a few cans laying around, but I am running low. Behrman is a good product, and it's about half the price of seafoam. I don't believe it's quite as good as seafoam, but I have a good running generator here. So I'm only putting this in to clean the fuel system. It'll clean the combustion chamber. It'll stabilize fuel. We're putting only non-ethanol in this thing. You understand that? But it's good. It's good stuff. Okay. Next is we'll put the side cover on. We'll find a fan or something to plug in. And we're going to let this thing run for a while. We're going to let it run for hours and hours. Make sure she's 100%. All the generators I add to my fleet get a thorough run for 4 or 5 hours before I add them to my fleet. If I'm out DJing somewhere and I got music playing and stuff, the very last thing I need, and I've never had it happen, is to have a generator fail because of whatever. Never had it happen. The only thing I've ever had done is I forget to open up the vent. And about 30 minutes into a set, yeah, starts it for fuel. And I know exactly what's happened. I come running over there, turn it to on, the vent on the top of the cap, and then of course it fires right back up again. Everything comes back to life, and I go, ha ha, Glenn did it. Yes, I did. I'm sorry, but I did it. So let me get this thing sitting outside, plug something in, let it run. All right, she's out here purring away, just with a fan running. I think that'd be good enough for today, just on a kind of a low run. It does just do a little search there for a second, just once in a while, but even that's improving. So I've seen them do that actually quite a bit. And then after you run them with some CPO, or in this case Behrman in the fuel, just slowly but surely it cleans things up, makes things happy. My wife stopped by a little bit ago. She goes, "You are putting decals on that for him, right?" Yeah, I guess I'm putting decals on it. So I'm going to go order that filter. I'll get a couple of them so I have one all the time. see what decals are for these. I just put a set on my EU3000. This guy here, if you haven't seen that video, you might look it up. It was recently posted. Don't know just exactly when, but this was a real beater we kind of brought back to life, if you will. And yeah, repainted it, straightened up some dents, and put some new decals on it. So I'll bring you back this afternoon after it has proved to me that it can run all day, and tell you how we'll finish this thing up. It will definitely end the video today. So go look up some decals and filters and stuff. I got an EU1000 actually that could use some decals, so if I'm feeling generous, maybe I'll order a couple sets today. Alright, catch you in a bit. Alright, boys and girls, this thing has been running all day. It's a little after 3 in the afternoon now, so 4.5 hours, something like that it's been running. It's time to, because it's obviously good and warm now, we'll change this oil again. I also want to drain the fuel bowl one last time. Make sure she's really pretty in there. And if you were going to store this generator long term, this is your opportunity to drain all the gas out of the carburetor. Dump all the gas out of the tank if you want to. I just want to have a look at it. And it is clean as a whistle. Very nice. Very nice. I don't think there's a speck of anything in it that wasn't in the cup originally anyway. Okay. Take the drain plug out and get a paper towel. Oops. Oops. This is how these become messy. Now I'm going to try and reach that spout while I hold the generator. Yeah. I kind of wished I would have put the funnel in the jug. Got this all ready to go before I did this, but I didn't. I'm going to jab that paper towel in there, so I've already kind of cleaned everything in here, and I didn't want that oil down there. Okay. I could have been a little more prepared, is what I'm saying. But what do you know? What do you know? Let's see how clean this is or isn't. See there, she's got some color in her. She's nice and warm. She's nice and warm. Pre-measured, 14 ounces. Great idea, isn't it? How many of you guys watch James Condon? I'll bet every one of you that watches my little videos watches his. He's a genius. What would be flattering is if he took my idea from my little measuring cup and used it. I would be honored. if he did such a thing. But it works pretty good. It was my idea. Not to say that nobody else ever came up with it, but I haven't seen it if they did. I think it's a good idea. And the dipstick. So, and then, although my wife wanted me to order decals for this thing, there are a lot of options. They've got wraps and, you know, American flags and camo, and they got, I don't know, I'm going to let him do it. I'm going to let my brother-in-law figure out what he wants this to look like. You know, it's certainly not new looking. But he can make it anything he wants. And it's for $30 you can wrap this whole thing, not the front and back panel, but yeah. Alright guys, that's oil. I ain't gonna check it because you know it's right. And I'll put some more fuel in it because it's been running for hours and I didn't fill it. I've ordered 3 sets of air filters. Okay, chokage. Whoops, you want to like turn it on, Glenn? Did that to get fuel back in the carburetor. Alright, boys and girls, that's gonna wrap this up. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Started off, I mean, I picked this thing up last night in the town next to me. The guy said he's had it in a storage locker for a long time. Only thing I did is pull the rope last night when I was there, and I sniffed the tank. He goes, "Oh, the tank doesn't smell very good." I said, "Well, it smells actually pretty good. I think you have, put fresh fuel in on top of, something else. Maybe I've dumped that out." Obviously, we dumped it out 8 times. I did. Off camera, most of them. But, yeah, 8 times I flushed out that tank, getting it nice and clean. Nothing made its way to the carburetor. And all the time it was running. So I think we're good to go there. Oil's been changed 2 times. So the engine block inside is nice and clean. She just should run forever now. Guys, gals, appreciate you watching. Please give it a thumbs up. Share this video with someone that's into these. And stick around my channel. Look around a little bit. Maybe you find something else interesting to watch. I film about 2 months in advance. So this thing should air probably sometime January, maybe February. And I need to push this past Christmas because my brother-in-law is getting this for Christmas. And he watches my channel. So he'll be looking at this and seeing how his generator started life with us anyway. I'm not going to armor all this plastics or anything. I might do the ends in case it gets covered with a decal. That would be very difficult to get off. So we'll just let that go and call it done. I am going to add that I did for the very first time order spark plugs for these. I am going to put a spark plug in this when it arrives. I ordered, I can't remember, half a dozen spark plugs because I just don't know how old this is. Oh, you know what? Before we escape, let's see if the hour meter works. Let me show you. So if you're not familiar, the green light that comes on here, the green LED, will flash 1 time for every 100 hours on the machine. Now, the earlier machines don't have that feature. Some of the later machines do have that feature, and I can't tell you when that started, but some of mine do it, some of mine don't. And I completely forgot to check this. So keep your eyes here, and I'm going to start it up, and we got to count the flashes. So if it flashes 4 or 5 times, it's 400, 500 hours on this machine. Okay, let's do that. No flash. Too old. Well, anyway, I showed you in case you want to look into yours. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up. We'll, guys, catch you on the next video. Merry Christmas.